Hi, my name is Jeff Knighton, and today I am going to show you how to record a recipe, how to edit that recipe, and then I will show you how you then follow that recipe that you just recorded. So I can show you kind of from start to finish. We're going to go ahead and get started here. I'm going to click on Start Cooking. I've got a pan here. Here you can see my cooktop. I have the thermal view, which you can see my pan is starting to heat up here a little bit. That's what that green color is on my pan. It's easier to see maybe if it's starting to overlay on top of the actual pan. For what I'm doing right now, I might just leave it like that. Actually, I'm going to click on this so I'm just seeing the visible camera view. Obviously, I can click on different places and see those are temperature pins. They allow me to see the temperature at those specific spots. And then at the bottom left-hand corner, I have number 153, 154. That is the average of my pan's temperature. All right, I'm going to get rid of some of these. Okay, so today I am going to make a quick scrambled eggs. So in order for me to start recording this as a recipe, I am going to click on this little button that's white with a red center. Okay, so now I am recording, and this will be a full-length video and full-length thermal information that gets recorded, and from that I will be able to create a recipe that is easily followed. So I'm going to go ahead and get started here. I'm choosing scrambled eggs because it's going to not be very long to make. So I'm adding a little bit of butter here. I'll heat this up in my pan. And we will get started here. So I'm actually not going to get this to be too hot. It's at 266 right now. Eggs, they don't like a lot of heat. I want to have nice soft scrambled eggs, and so I am going to cook it at a fairly low heat here. All right. Adding just a pinch of salt to it. I'm just going to kind of move this around. This is obviously not a very complex recipe, but I'm choosing it because it goes really fast, okay? All right, I am going to add some cheese. Just sprinkle some cheese on here. Maybe I'll stir it again. Add a pinch of green onions. Okay, and there we go. Now I'm going to remove them. Now you can see that's what the finished plate looks like for my scrambled eggs. And I can stop recording. Okay, 2 minutes and 38 seconds. All right, so I am going to save that right there. You can see it shows up right there as a recipe under My Recipes. It says edit your new recipe. I'm going to edit it now. Okay, now when we get to this screen, there are different sections. This is the edit screen. Everywhere that you see a little pencil icon, you can edit it. So let's just start at the top here. I clicked on next to the name and description. I'm going to change this to Jeff's Scrambled Eggs. I'll just say scrambled eggs. How about that? Jeff's famous scrambled eggs. All right. Okay, so now I have ingredients, equipment, prep steps. I can go through each of those individually and add them in. So my ingredients, I have a new ingredient here, which I had two eggs, and I'm gonna say scrambled. The third line here is a note that just kind of says, you know, how you do the things. All right, so my next ingredient here is going to be, I have 1 tablespoon of butter. And then I have, I will say a pinch, 1 pinch of salt. And then I have new ingredient. I have 1 pinch of cheddar cheese. Maybe I'll change that to be 1/8 cup. Okay, so those are my ingredients. Oh, actually I have another ingredient I forgot about. We have 1 pinch of green onions, chopped. Okay, so those are my ingredients there. Now I have my equipment list. I can say I have a 10-inch skillet. All right. So prep steps, I'm not going to list any right now. I'll list one. All right. Scramble. Nope. Okay. Scramble eggs and place in a bowl. For each of those prep steps, I can add a picture if I want to. In fact, I will. I'll scrambled eggs and put in a bowl. I will add a picture of what that looks like, just for fun here. I've got some ready to go for the next time I go. Okay, so there we go. Okay. So we have that as a prep step now. Scrambled eggs put in a bowl. Okay, so now we go to our cooking instructions. Okay, so now at this point we see a video, and that video can play, and as it's playing, you see underneath the video there's like this timeline, and there's a graph on the timeline. Well, that timeline is the graph on the timeline is the thermal view of what's going on. And I can use my thumb and move that timeline back and forth. And what we do when we edit a recipe is we want to find the places where you do things that people are going to want to follow, the important instruction steps. So this is right where I'm about to add butter. And then on the top right, you have these 4 little buttons. You have the second one down, which is a button for adding an ingredient. So I'm going to add an ingredient to the pan, and you can see underneath the ingredients is listed all the ingredients that I put in the original ingredient list. So I'm going to select that, and the title now says add 1 tablespoon butter to pan, because that's what I did. Now when I did that first one, it also determined that my pan was at 214 degrees at the point where I did add that butter to pan. And so that is the temperature that is going to be where we need to preheat it when you add that again. So I'm going to move on to the next thing. Okay, at this point, we can say that I'm stirring the butter. So I'm going to add a command on the third button down called stir ingredients, or I could just have it be stir butter. If I clicked on butter, stir 1 tablespoon of butter. I like to just leave it stir ingredients. It's nice and easy. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to keep playing through here, find the next thing that I did that was interesting. All right, well, I'm still stirring, but I just barely told them to stir, so that's good. Okay, that's a good stir. So I'm stirring in a different kind of way. Let me back up just a little bit, and I will say, yep, let's stir ingredients. I'm going to do this a little bit faster here, go through. All right, so next was adding eggs. So let me get back to that. All right, so now we are going to add 2 eggs to pan. All right, now we are stirring the eggs. All right, so now we're going to click on stir ingredients. All right, at that point, that's where I added some salt, I believe. Let's see, where did I go to add some salt? Where's that cheese? That's cheese. So I'm going to say I add cheddar cheese there. Adding green onions. And then I'm going to remove from the pan. So I click on this, remove ingredients from pan. I need to scroll back through because somewhere in here I added salt. So I need to go find that place again. All right, so let's just watch this really fast. There we go, that's where I did the salt. So add a pinch of salt. Save. Okay, so now I have my cooking instructions that have just been created. So I have my my ingredients here, listed here. I have my equipment listed here. I have my preparation steps listed here. Scramble eggs placed in a bowl. Another preparation step I could add after the fact. And this is one that Cooksy really likes. Measure all of your ingredients in advance. All right, so that's just good cooking advice in general. Now, what you'll see here is that we have this preview video that is being generated. So when you record a recipe, the data from the recipe gets stored locally on your Cooksy device, and when you have finished recording, that data gets then gets sent up to the Cooksy backend servers in the cloud, and that recipe then gets available for anyone else that you might want to save it for publishing. So in the meantime, a video is created from that, and it will be loading here pretty soon. So let's go ahead and, in fact, I think it is available. All right, so we can watch the little video. So this is my recorded video of my cooking that I just barely did. So this is me cooking that egg. And you see the different steps. So this is now kind of a recipe that somebody can follow. The only other thing that we really need to do on it is we need to create a cover photo. So I'm going to edit this again. I'm going to take a picture. So I have right here, there's my finished scrambled eggs. So I'm just going to take a picture on that, and I am so not a food photographer, but it'll do for now. Okay, so I save that. It's going to update the back end system with it, and it's going to cause us to that video to be recreated again. I'm going to publish this recipe. Okay, now anyone in the world can see it, and you can see now it shows up under my list of recipes. Scrambled eggs, this is the one that I just did. So I can go in and I can now follow this recipe just in the same way. So I can click on that recipe. You can see it shows the video again. We saw that. But for somebody looking at this recipe for the first time wanting to follow it, this little video is very helpful to see. I have my ingredients here. I've got my skillet, my prep steps, cooking instructions, and now I can just say, let's cook, and follow this. So I'm going to click on let's cook. So I'm now going to follow this recipe that I just barely recorded. So I have my ingredients here. It brings up the ingredients list. So I'm just going to check them off. Okay, this is optional. You can just click on next if you want, but it's really helpful as a mechanism to say, okay, let's gather our ingredients. Okay, I have my eggs, check. Okay, I have my butter, I have a salt nearby, I have my cheddar cheese, and I have my green onions. Okay, I have all of my ingredients. I can go.
Scramble eggs and place in a bowl.
And then it's going to step me through these preparation steps. And if I have a picture, it'll show that picture as well. Okay, I have my scrambled eggs in a bowl. I'm going to click on next.
Measure all of your ingredients in advance.
Okay, check. I have all of my ingredients measured in advance. I'm going to say, let's cook.
Preheat to 212 degrees.
All right, so now I'm going to use a different color pan. So this really maybe helps see that this is supposed to mimic what a different type of kitchen or cooking environment is. I've got a different looking pan on here. I've got a white pan instead of the dark colored one that I had before. And now I just need to follow my instructions. So the first instruction here is going to be to add a tablespoon of butter to pan, and then to stir my ingredients. You can see that it is anticipating right now that it's going to take about 5 minutes to heat this up to get to 212. I'm going to turn up my heat a little bit higher, and then that's going to drop down real fast here in just a minute here. It's not going to take 6 minutes. It's going to come up here, and there we go. It's closer to 1 minute. And I'm going to get my butter ready.
In 20 seconds, add 1 tablespoon butter to pan and stir ingredients.
All right, so what you're seeing right now is you're seeing the picture of my original cooking session. You see the dark pan there. It's got that little video, and it shows you then on this step of adding butter what I actually did. So I'm going to now...
Now it's time to add 1 tablespoon butter to pan and stir ingredients.
I'm going to add my butter, and I'm stirring my ingredients. Now at the bottom, when you're following a recipe, we have this target temperature of 228, 229. That's where we're trying to hit, and our current pan's temperature is just really close right on that. So I am doing just fine. I'm trying to follow this.
In 20 seconds, stir ingredients and add 2 eggs to pan.
All right, you can see what the stirring looked like that I had before. And now I will need to add the eggs.
Now it's time to stir ingredients and add 2 eggs to pan.
Okay, you can see underneath it that I'm stirring, and then I'm adding my eggs to pan.
In 20 seconds, add 1 pinch salt to pan and stir ingredients. Alright, now add 1 pinch salt to pan and stir ingredients.
There's me adding 1 pinch to pan. And I'm stirring the ingredients.
In 20 seconds, add 1/8 cup cheddar cheese to pan and add 1 pinch green onions to pan.
So with every instruction, it shows you the video that was taken from the original recording. It matches the
Time
exact
to add 1/8
timing.
cup cheddar
and
cheese
we
to pan and
have
add 1 pinch green onions to pan.
The timing, I just added the cheese, and now I'm adding the green onions. It matches the timing of when it happened in the original cooking session. And so it becomes very consistent. And then at the bottom left, where you have your target temperature, you have this,
In 20
this
seconds,
goal
remove
so that you're
ingredients
matching
from
the same
pan.
temperature. I'm just getting out a second plate. All right, I'm going to remove my eggs at this point.
Okay, now remove ingredients from pan.
They look beautiful. The cheese is all nice and melty. I can take a picture of them if I want. Okay, so here we go. So here are the second eggs, and here are the first eggs. They've both turned out great, and more importantly, they both turned out the exact same. So I'm going to take a picture of that. My second ones, because I'm the follower, and then I can choose, okay, do I share now? I can share my picture, and ultimately I have successfully made eggs. So I have made and recorded a recipe. I've recorded a recipe, I then edited it, and then I followed it, and that is the end of this video.